here. Welcome back to the bedroom remodel project here. For those of you who've seen the last video, well, I was going to say finished with drywall. We're not quite finished with drywall, but we are as complete with drywall as we are going to be up until this point. So, again, you can see behind me we got a little bit more drywall to go yet. We got some other plans we're working on for that part there. So I want to get those plans worked out to see where they will go before I finish this. And like, depending on those plans, Evan, that might change this up here, so I don't want to have to like redo work. So we're just going to leave that like that is for now. But anyway, we are going to start with mudding the drywall here today, Evan. And yeah, everyone's favorite job, Evan. Really don't like this job, but well, needs to be done, unfortunately. For those of you who've seen this done before, kind of like watching paint dry, I would say, to some extent. So we'll try to keep this video moving and as exciting as possible. And we'll see where we end up, Evan. Maybe folks can pick up a few tips and tricks here on doing drywall. Plus, if you got any tips and tricks to share with me, let me know. Throw them down in the comments there, Evan. Again, always enjoy reading you folks' comments there. So without further ado, Evan, let's get started here and show you what we're working with. Real quick, here's the tools we're going to be using for this job here. Now, just my personal preference, Evan, I think they call this the hock. That is what I prefer here for holding mud. So you hold it from the underneath there, one, and then you put your mud, and when you say mud, your joint compound, you put that on here, and this is kind of your working tray right here. Now, some people prefer, speaking of tray, I think they actually call this a tray, if I remember correctly, or there might be another name for it too. And you might notice, Evan, on the edges here, it's got these metal edges. That is for keeping your knife clean. And speaking of knives, by the way, you got 3 different sizes, starting off with your 4-inch, your 6-inch, and then I forget if that's a 10 or a 12. Actually, you know what we could probably do? Have one. How do you tell? Well, you put a 6 together, you put a 4 together, and that's a 10. Okay, so there you go. That's a 10-inch knife right there. And then we got our paper. So again, I'm just putting paper on here. One, just using basic paper. There's a couple different products you can use. Paper is just the cheap, basic one. Works really good as far as I know. There's also some like mesh ones and some, there's a couple different ones you can use, that one, but they basically just go up in price, and I don't know that they're necessarily any better. And then of course, that one, we got the mud or all-purpose joint compound. I think most people just refer to it as mud or mud. And then we're gonna be mudding here. Yeah, fun job, Evan. Yeah, I think playing in the mud would be a little more fun, but not in this case. So anyway, I'm going to grab probably the hock here. I think the wife said she might help come up and help do some screws here as well once she's finished with what she's working on. So kind of tag team this here a little bit. She doesn't mind doing the screws. Those are kind of nice and easy. So yeah, hopefully this won't take too long. We don't have a lot of joints, I would say, in the room here. You know, on this wall, we got the joints running this way. That is what, maybe like a 3-foot joint on either side, pretty quick. We of course got all the way around up along the ceilings there, one. On this side here, got a little short one there. We got one there, full one there. Then back on this side, we got the whole way across. Of course, crossed up in the ceilings there again as well, one. So, not looking forward to doing the ceiling, Evan. The wall shouldn't be too bad, hopefully, but yeah, ceiling, oh well, is what it is. And real quick, before we get started, for those who've never seen this before, we're basically going to stick mud, stick paper, stick mud, kind of try to keep that smooth, let that dry. We're going to come back probably a day or 2 from now, stick another layer of mud on it, let that dry, try to again keep it as smooth as possible. We'll let that dry, we'll come back, put probably a 3rd layer on it, we'll let that dry, and most areas of it will probably end up with anywhere from 3 to 4 layers of mud on them. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on how it goes. Again, I am no expert at doing this. So yeah, just try to keep everything as smooth as possible. And then everywhere possible, and I think I did get everywhere too, by the way, with this, I've got all butt joints. Is it butt joints? No, butt joints are those, I think. I've got all just regular side joints here, one, or whatever you call these here, where the factory edge of a piece of drywall meets the other factory edge of a piece of drywall. And what's special about that, Evan, I don't know if I can, oh, you know what? This will, you probably see it over here, Evan. If you look at this, Evan, and hopefully the camera will pick this up here. Hopefully you can see where the drywall sheet tapers down there. Same thing on this side. It tapers down, so when you put your drywall mud and paper on there, Evan, it'll be basically just flat across there. And actually, you know what? Let me grab my level, and you can probably see this better here. So for those of you who've never seen this before, let me put a level across here. And that is what I'm talking about. You see that gap right there? That is why I always try to, at least in my case, Evan, put this edge to that edge. I don't want edges going the other way. Now, the corner don't matter as much, Evan. You don't worry about that one. But, yeah, when it comes to the middle of the wall one, try to keep your factory joints to your factory joints there. Or, again, I can't think of the name of that particular one. I believe the other one, again, like I said, the other one, I believe, if you're talking about up there, that's considered a butt joint. And those, of course, are not tapered down to accept mud. Now, of course, it is done, but it's just, it's a lot more work. So I try to avoid that if I can. Anyway, enough talking, Evan. Man, can we come up with anything else to talk about here so I can put this off any longer? I guess not. Better get to work. Well, I think that's going to do it here for the first coat here tonight. We actually got most of the first coat done. In fact, you know, I'm going to say all of the first coat done. Well, we still have some corners to do yet, but I've got like mud in those corners where we need to like fill in some gaps first before I can put the tape on. So, like that corner was nice and tight. I put tape in it. That corner there, that needed a little extra mud, so I got that one full of mud. We'll have to let that set and dry. Same story on this corner here as well. And then most of the seams along the ceiling as well, when I got those all full of mud. So I'll have to wait for those to set up and dry. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully, but that'll have to wait till the next day here. Let that set up and dry. Hopefully it looks good. And if it does, we'll slap some tape on it. If not, might have to go for a second round of mud, especially I'm betting like this corner. And this corner, I've had some pretty large gaps. And usually with this drywall, once it dries, it kind of, what's the word, like recedes, I guess, maybe? It's not quite the word I'm looking for, but hopefully folks get what I'm going at there. So anyway, first coat, we're going to call that done for tonight, Evan. And we'll let this dry, set up, and then we'll start second coat. Okay, well, day 2 of starting on mud here again. So we got the first coat on most of the room done here this past Saturday here. This is now Monday here. And one of the reasons I mentioned that, Evan, if we look in these corners here, yeah, we can see some of this is still wet yet. So, and on top of that, Evan, kind of what this mud does, so when it dries, Evan, it shrinks. I think that was the word I was looking for in the last part of this video. I couldn't think of it, but when it dries, Evan, it shrinks. So you can see how it's back inside there. I am probably going to have to put another layer of mud on that before I tape that. So, yeah, we'll have to and I'll probably let that dry some more too. But that's still pretty wet. And that, again, that is from this past Saturday. So it's had 2 days to dry. It is still not dry yet. So we'll let that set probably a little bit longer. Looks like up along here looking pretty good. I don't think we'll have to do any sanding yet, Evan. There might be a few spots where maybe just need to run the blade along, make sure we don't have anything sticking out. Obviously, I do all the screws again. That's all normal. Looks like everything else is looking pretty good, though. I think, oh, got a little bubble there, Evan. Don't like seeing that. That's no good. It is hard, though. Interesting. We'll see once there. Either cut that out or maybe some more mud over it. Yeah, I'll probably just want to cut that out. That'll probably be the best bet there. That joint looks like it's pretty good. Always want to check for bubbles in the tape. I mean, you don't want to see that. Yeah, there's a little one. Actually, that might just be mud under it. I don't think that's actually a bubble there. I need to cut that tape up there. Yeah, that tape was a little long when I put it up. Looks like that's pretty good. Oh yeah, this corner, I'm gonna have to wait on this corner as well, in case you can't tell. Lots of mud there. Also got a drop of mud there too. I'll have to knock that off. Looks like this is looking pretty good. Yeah, so I could probably tape this corner up one. I could probably tape this one. I might have to wait for this one up here yet. Yeah, that's still drying up there, so I might want to wait for that one. But the other two of them, looks like I can tape those. And then, of course, we'll start on a second layer on everything that has already been taped. So let's get started. Okay, and second coat of mud is done here for tonight. The wife also finished up with the second coat of mud on most of the nails here as well, at least, or not nails, screws of them. The screws, at least the ones she can reach anyway, which I guess actually is everything but the ceiling. So anyway, yeah, she got all those done. The corner hasn't been done yet. I'm waiting to put the mud and paper in the corner. That'll cover those screw holes up, so don't need to bother mudding over those. Other than that, yeah, it's looking pretty good, We are making some pretty good progress here, I think. Again, still waiting for these corners. I don't have any paper in this corner or this corner here yet. Just waiting for that mud to dry here a little bit. I put a little bit extra in this one, and same thing in the opposite corner there, just to kind of level that out a little bit. So again, hopefully got a good backing behind that tape there once we tape it. But yeah, at least on the long seams of it, we got 2 layers of mud on there. We'll probably see once maybe tomorrow night. Hopefully maybe throw a third layer. Not sure if we'll need to sand in between yet. We'll have to see once here. I'm hoping I've got it smooth enough I can slap a third layer on, and then we'll start sanding, and we'll see once where we'll end up here. The corners, by the way, if you ever done drywall mud with corners, Evan, as far as I know, I think they make like a fancy tool to do corners. I've just got a regular knife, Evan, and if you have just a regular knife, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, and it takes a while, but what you need to do is you need to do one side of the corner first. Get your paper and stuff on right first. But once your paper's on, the next night or whenever it's dry, you do one side, you wait for that to dry then you do the other side. That makes, your second coat. And then you wait for that to dry, and then you can do the opposite side again in your third coat. Wait for that to dry, now you can do the opposite side, gets your, you hope folks get the idea. It takes a long time to do the corners, especially when you gotta wait for that to happen. But yeah, got all the way down around the ceiling oven. That is finished. So yeah, we'll be back here again hopefully tomorrow night, Evan. Same great fun. Second coat of mud almost done, Evan. We're almost through that entire bucket here. Plus I got this other bucket. We had just a little bit in that one we started with. So yeah, almost a full bucket of mud on these walls here already. Wow. Well, I'm on day 3 of mud here, and I think we're looking pretty good here so far. All our regular lines here, probably one more coat, and then we'll sand them, and hopefully they'll be good. We'll see what they look like after sanding them, if we need to put another coat on or not. So we got the middle line there. We got a little line above the door, 2 long ones there, and then one down this side. Oh, and yeah, there's actually one here too, but that one actually needs a second coat. That one, that's actually on its first one yet. So yeah, we're gonna put one more coat along all of those. We'll also start on the corner here as well, but I think this corner here is dry enough. We can put tape on this one here now, finally. That should be good. We can also mud the other side of the corner on this one. Again, when you do these corners, Evan, unless you got the special tools for it, you do one side, you gotta let it dry, then you come back and do the other side. Unfortunately, just kind of the way that is done. And this corner, Evan, this corner still is not dry yet. Like, oh my goodness, Evan, there's a lot of mud in, well, actually, I don't think there's really that much more mud in this corner than there is that one, Evan. My only theory is, and that one is a little wet yet, but it's not terrible. It's like you can push on it and it's hard. This is like still soft yet, Evan. And I'm wondering, yeah, like this wall is cold here, Evan. We're on the other side of the roof there, so I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. It's a lot colder on this wall than it is over on that wall. So I think we unfortunately probably maybe need to wait on that one, Evan. I'd really like to get that one done because, you know, the corners there, those are kind of the ones that take the longest, right? But what are you gonna do, Evan? What are you gonna do? Also, speaking of corners, Evan, we can go all the way around on the ceiling as well. Again, just do the one side, Evan. We can't do both sides. So we'll do the one side. I don't know, do I want to do the top side or the bottom side first? I don't know if it really matters, but actually, you know what? Let's take a look here. Looks like, actually, you know what? We're probably gonna do the bottom side first, Evan, because looks like when I did this, I smoothed the top, and you can see where I scraped the bottom. So we'll probably do the bottom side first. We'll get that smooth. And the top is like almost smooth already. But again, we definitely need more mud. So anyway, let's get set up, Evan. And more mudding. Real quick here before we start, actually, Evan, just wanted to go around and check and see how we're looking here. Looks like we're looking really good on this one, Evan. Again, just check and see if we got any divot in the middle there. We do not. That seems to be flat across there. Yeah, we definitely probably need mud there more, but make sure that's not a spot in the paper. Doesn't seem to be. Yeah, okay, I don't know if you can see that. It probably doesn't show up real well on the camera, but we got a little bit of a dip right in there, and that's right where the tape is as well, so we definitely need more mud there. I suppose we can check the rest out here as well. It's actually pretty good up there. Looks like it's good there. Down here it needs a little bit. It's actually pretty good there too. So like in the middle here, we'll probably just mud the whole thing though. I'm just have the whole thing done. Oh yeah, that one definitely needs more. Yeah, you probably hopefully you can see that one. See the light coming through. Definitely needs more in the middle on that one, and then this one here. This one actually looks like it's pretty. Oh, there we go. Hopefully you can see that on the camera, Evan. You can see the dip right there. Need some more mud across that. This one actually looks like it's pretty good there. Okay, well anyway, we'll probably just do them all again, Evan, just to be safe. And then we'll just, yeah, probably tomorrow. Yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow will probably be sanding day, unfortunately. Okay, I'm on day 4 of mudding here. I'll hopefully get some sand in here today as well. But first things first, we're going to do a little bit more mud here. Probably some more on the corners. Now, I see this corner isn't quite 100% dry yet. I think it's dry enough we can put a little bit more mud in there, hopefully. Also on this corner oven, we'll probably put a little bit more mud on that one. Again, this corner oven has 2 coats on it here so far. We'll probably start by working on a 3rd coat. And again, as a reminder, when it comes to these corners oven, usually works best. Do one side, wait a day or however long it takes to dry, then do the other side, right? Also, I gotta maybe smooth that out just a little bit before we put any more mud on that. Same thing along the ceilings here as well. The ceilings, if I remember correctly, I think I think the lower side here has 2 and the upper just has 1. So we need to do one, or the second one, all the way around the outside edge. And then for this corner oven, it still is not dry yet. Like, oh my goodness, like I put this mud in here. Let's see once here. This was Saturday, so what was that, 5 days ago now? It's Wednesday here today, so yeah. That still is not dry yet. Like, oh my goodness, it's not that much in there. We're talking, what, a 1/2 inch gap there? Something like that, whatever that. Barely even a 1/2 inch. I guess a 1/2 inch. We'll call it a 1/2 inch gap there. But it seems like that is taking a ridiculously amount of time to dry there. It is still soft yet, by the way. Like, I can still push into it, that one. So yeah, not sure what's up with that. We'll see once. Maybe I'll wait one more day on that one. I like to let that dry and harden here before I tape and mud that. But at the same time, too, I want to get it taped and mudded. So I don't know. We'll see what's here. Well, that's how you use up a whole bucket of mud. That one is pretty much empty. That one was almost empty to begin with. There was only like, that much in the bottom, so you got to scrape that one out yet. There's a little bit left in that one, but yeah, there's pretty much a whole bucket on the wall here at this point. I've got another bucket downstairs. I'll have to drag that up here a minute because obviously we're not done yet, so we need some more mud in the room. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here for this video here for now. We'll probably have to do a part 2 here on the drywall oven. For the most part, I would say like 90% is done. Next video, we're going to come back and we're going to start sanding. And then, of course, we'll come back through and patch the drywall as well. So that'll probably be I don't know, probably another week's worth of work into that as well. And so we're like a week into this here so far, and this is where we've ended up. Couple of the big things yet is we still need to finish this corner yet. I did end up actually, I just said the heck with it, and I put tape and mud over that wet spot. Probably not the greatest idea, to be honest, but I was getting sick of waiting for that one. And I can't help but wonder if, again, behind this wall, we're open to the attic and the outside there, so just that cold there is keeping that from curing and setting up all the way. At least that's my theory. I don't know. So anyway, like I said, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I got to say, too, this room is like taking on that new, fresh room smell. You know, when you walk into a brand new house, that smell, it's kind of what it's smelling like in here. Of course, we got to do all the paint and stuff like that as well, and then we got to finish up what's going to be hopefully happen over there as well. But anyway, with that, thanks for watching. If you folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.